So in this video, I'm going to show you how to take your fryer from this powered down, cold, and rather lonely state to a state where it's heated up and ready to go for the day. You want to start getting your fryer ready about 20 minutes before you drop your first basket of whatever product you're cooking. This allows time for the oil to slowly and gently heat up so it doesn't scorch, taste burnt, or break down as fast. Start by turning on the main power switch. This just powers up the controls and doesn't start to heat the oil yet. That comes in a minute. While the controls power up, you can remove the night covers on all of the vats you're going to use. For fryers with 3 and 4 vats, you can store these conveniently under the right vat. But for smaller 1 and 2 vats, you don't have a storage area and you'll need to find a good place for these somewhere else. All right. Next, make sure that there's a clean basket rest in the bottom of each vat. These basket rests are important as they make sure your baskets don't sit crooked while you're trying to cook. And they also make sure that the heater and temperature sensing devices at the bottom of the vat are protected from damage that would be caused by the basket. After that, let's check the oil level. Now, oil level is critical. Never ever turn on a vat with low or no oil. This will cause what's known as a dry fire, and that will disrupt your day and shut down the vat for a little while and cause additional stress in the restaurant. No one wants that. What's worse is it can also damage the vat itself, leading to costly repairs. You can avoid all that by making sure that the oil is topped off before turning on the heat. So right now, since the fryer was off and the oil's cold, you should make sure that each vat has oil filled to its lower level line. The reason there's 2 level lines at the rear of each vat is because oil expands as it heats. When oil's in a cold state, the vat should be filled to the lower line. And as the oil heats, it expands to the upper line. Don't believe me? Come back and see for yourself when your oil heats up to frying temperature. So, if your oil level's low, to add oil, tap the menu icon, tap Oil and Filter, and tap Fill Vat. If you just need to add a little bit of oil, you can fill from the jib. But if you need to add a lot of oil, then add it from bulk if your fryer's plumbed to a bulk fresh oil supply system, or if you don't have that luxury, like us in this video, then tap Manual Fill and just pour it in directly from a jib. Now you can go find your clean baskets and place one above each vat. To start heating the oil, just tap the center of the screen and you'll get the prompt, "Is vat full?" Since you already checked oil level and filled to the lower level line, you can confidently respond yes to this prompt. The oil will now start to heat. While the oil is heating, there are 2 more things to check to make sure you're ready for a busy lunch rush or dinner rush. So first, check the jib. If this is empty or very close to empty, replace it. I recommend you do, otherwise the fryer will start to annoy you with the check jib alert soon after you start cooking. If the jib just has a little bit of oil in it, you can pour the small remains of oil from the last jib into the new jib to make sure that you aren't throwing away old oil. And as a side note, jib stands for jug in box, and the fryer pulls fresh oil from the jib throughout the day to top off the oil level in the vat. Now, as a side note, if you have a small single vat fryer, instead of checking a jib, since it doesn't have one, check the auto top off reservoir and fill it to the level line. Lastly, check to make sure the filter pan is clean, assembled correctly, and has a clean filter installed in it. And check to make sure the O-rings are also in good shape. This is really important because it makes sure when you do an express filter, which we'll talk about in a separate video, you're certain that the oil will pump back up from the filter pan to the vat and won't pump slowly or stop altogether. This would delay cooking and, worse yet, disrupt your day. And remember, on the filter pan, to replace any O-rings that are excessively worn, damaged, or missing. So if the filter pan is dirty, it will need to be cleaned and have a new filter installed. For more information on that, see the video on daily filter pan cleaning and maintenance. All right, with all that done, your fryer's going to be ready to use once the oil reaches frying temperature.